Here's our chance. Let's go get them. Let's go get them. Well, you heard, I don't know if you heard that, but
I didn't hear anything.
One of the Maverick players was talking to his dad, and his dad said, if you had one team that you wish you could have beat, who would it have been? And he said the Rockford team, Rockford Roadrunners. And he said, well, good news, you're going to get your chance. Hopefully the Mavericks are fired up and ready to lay it on the Rockford Roadrunners here for the final game of Mad City Classic Tournament here in Madison, Wisconsin. We're in the suburb called Sun Prairie here at the same rink. Nice dual rink arena here in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
This is game number 4. As you may have mentioned, I couldn't hear you when you were walking around the stands. But I think other than yesterday morning's game against the team from Highland Park, we've liked what we've seen from the Junior Mavericks. They played well. The other 2 games, including the game against this team to open the tournament, was a 1-1 tie. Goaltenders have been good. Players have really created a lot of scoring chances. And we would expect more of the same today, as both of these teams still looking for their first win of the tournament. Junior Mavs are 0-1-2. These guys are 0-2-1. And so we will see.
I forgot about that. Yeah, this is... You know, honestly, I was thinking about what it would take to beat this team this morning for the Mavericks, and to me, we did a lot of things right the first time we played them. There was an enormous amount of time on attack. We outshot them. You know, the only thing maybe that we could improve is just a little bit more screen shots and then crashing the net with those rebound opportunities. But all in all, our boys matched the feet really well on this team and did a good job defending and keeping the puck in the offensive zone. So they've got the recipe to win this game.
I would say of the 3 teams that we have played in this tournament, the Geneva team probably had the best goaltender. The other goalies, the goaltender for this Rockford team, the goaltender for the Highland Park team that we saw yesterday, gave up a lot of rebounds. So to your point, crashing the net, it's going to be real important. There are going to be opportunities there with the goaltenders if they can't maintain rebound control. We're expecting on the Omaha side to see Rosie in goal. We had Beast play yesterday morning against Highland Park, and really couldn't fault him on most of those goals that came through. We didn't pick up the second and third guys who were in. Beast did make some great saves, and so it's up to the guys in front of him to make life boring, to help him out. Goalies want to be bored. Well, they do and they don't. But if your goalie's bored, that's a good thing.
You're absolutely right. That team showed us a great example of what crashing the net benefits play style. So if we can do that net crashing and sending 1 and 2 players to follow up initial shots on goal, goalies at this age have a lot of trouble handling the puck after making a big save. So there's a lot of loose puck opportunities that occur right in the crease or right out in front of the crease in the slot, which if you're not familiar with those areas of the ice, the crease is actually the blue paint where the net sits and the goalie stands. And then the slot is directly in front of that towards the center of the ice between the 2 circles. And high slot would come up to the top of the circle range, and the low slot would be right in front of the crease directly between the 2 circles. So those are the net crashing areas, because players aren't supposed to encroach into the paint, into the crease. So you want to just stay right in that slot area, right outside the paint, and any loose puck you see, you reach your stick in there and you poke that sucker into the back of the net.
Matt, interestingly, just before this game, they played the Squirt Championship game, and the team from Highland Park won that one. The team from Highland Park that we lost to yesterday will be playing in the championship game later on here in this building, I believe on the other side of the ice. So Highland Park's got quite a program going there as they bid for the 14U A2 title. And we were really impressed with them. They were a good team. And this Rockford team, again, do not have a win, but I'm sure they could point to a couple of opportunities and maybe even the game against the Junior Mavs where they think hey, you know what? We had a chance to win that game. We should maybe have a win or two under our belts already. Still have not seen the Junior Mavs in the tunnel. Guys from Rockford are eagerly awaiting the arrival of the referees, because only then can they get out on the ice. Although we've got 3 young men on the ice right now, only then can they get out on the ice and warm up. That is a USA Hockey regulation.
You mentioned goalies, Dave, and it's sometimes a huge difference when you're playing a team what goalie you get. So we played the team once. It could be a different goalie. It could be a completely different game. Oh, is it the same?
Yeah, it looks like the same guy.
We'll be the same team.
Number 1. Yep. He's the one at least ready to lead them out onto the ice, and usually it is the starting goalie who has that honor.
But sometimes that can make a difference, right? It's the quality in the net that you get, and sometimes, you know, teams get what they get because there's a shortage of goaltenders in certain programs, and having one goalie over your backup goalie can mean all the difference in the world to a win and a loss.
Matt panning over and showing the fellas here as they get in the tunnel and
all right.
line up
down
and
there
get ready to go. You're going to do a little walkabout.
Close-up of your favorite boys here. Let's see. Let's hear it for some Mavericks here. Let's hear it for some Mavs. Hey, boys, you fired up?
Yeah.
All right, family's watching. Let's give them a roar. There we go. Oh, that was... There we go. There we go. You fired up, Fleming? All right. Yeah. Allers. Let's get mean. Hulk mode, boys. You ready, Sturbs? Dad's watching. Taz. The Beast. Taz. Mom's watching. Be careful.
Hi, Mom.
The boys getting focused, getting fired up, ready to take the ice. Coaches with their puck toss competition routine. Slide the puck on the dot. Players getting into it. Everything's a competition for this team, isn't it? Whether you're tossing pucks or firing pucks at the net. Everything's a competition here. That's what the pregame looks like. Here's what the pregame looks like for the family and the camera crew. Family's watching, be careful. Oh, look at these young fans. Even the young siblings come out here. Who are you cheering for today? Junior Mavs. Junior Mavs. Hey, are you guys here to see hockey?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Say hi to Grandma and Grandpa. Some young fans here coming out to celebrate. A few fans here today.
You got a good cheering section.
I didn't make my way all the way down, but maybe at the period here we'll... Did you align us and everything?
Well, I was. And you came along and took it off, so
Right.
who knows what it's going to look like now.
I got to get these fans at home fired up too. I can feel the energy coming through the camera.
I'm feeling it all right.
My final...
I think it's coffee, though.
Yeah. My final exercise for my vocal cords here the weekend. See if I can take it.
You might notice on the Junior Mavericks side of the ice, you'll see a lot of those pucks on the ice. The coaches have a pregame ritual where they will take the warm-up pucks, and you can see, try to land them in the face-off dots. And to this point, we've been with these coaches for a couple of seasons. I've yet to see anybody land one in the face-off dot. And a couple of close
Everything's
ones
a
today.
competition with these
Well,
boys,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's it. It's a good way to kill time while you're waiting for the referees to come out we're waiting here in particular because I think the referees are sticking to the schedule. This game was not supposed to start until 9:50. The squirt game that we mentioned that happened just before this one got over with early, and even with the banner and medal presentation, they were still done early. So Zamboni gets out, does its thing, comes off, but the referees are going, well, hey, we got until 9:50. We're going to give it until 9:50, which is a couple of minutes away. So,
which is odd. Normally a rink manager wants to get ahead of schedule any opportunity he gets, but
I'd be down there banging on that referee door saying, hey, come on, let's go. You guys have rested enough.
Nonetheless, you folks at home will get a little extra pregame action here. How about
this witty banter?
How about sponsorship mention, Dave? You got any sponsorship mentions you'd like to throw out there?
Well, yeah, I sure do. We want to thank Cottonwood Salons for their sponsorship of the Junior Mavs Bantam Red team. We could not do it without sponsors and the village that encompasses certainly the families and all the folks like our coaches who donate their time in order to coach these boys and to provide them with a great experience throughout the season. Cottonwood Salon, certainly one of those businesses. There are opportunities, folks, for you to lend your business's support behind this team. And if you are interested, please reach out to Jody Heater or to Jesse Knorr, and they would be more than happy to give you the 411 on how we can make your business more visible to the families, friends, and all the folks who, watch these broadcasts on YouTube, these archive broadcasts. So something you can go back to and watch over. The highlights get sent out to all the families, everyone who is interested. And your brand right there on the screen. We will certainly mention your brand, and there are other opportunities as well. Flags and banners and koozies and that kind of thing. So again, if you're interested, please reach out to either Jesse or to Jody, and they would be more than happy to help you out.
I did check the analytics on our videos yesterday, Dave, and just as an example, we're a fully public channel that can be searched and found on YouTube in any way, shape, or form. We're reaching the hundreds numbers for our amount of views of our broadcasts. So they stay out there and they continue to collect more and more views. And as our highlight reels get sent with our extracted videos of highlights from each and individual player that's automatically sent to players, your branding will remain on those highlight short shot clips, and they get sent out throughout individuals for the life of their existence on the World Wide Web. Out come the players. 9:50 hits the mark, and a 3-minute warm-up session will start. OMA in their whites for the second time, I believe, this year. We warmed the first time here for the first time of the season here in this Mad City tournament. And we get to see them again, the big red bowl on the front of our white jerseys. And we've got the Rockford Roadrunners in their darks, which is blue. Roadrunners probably somewhat equal. I'd say Mavericks got them a little bit oversized in the amount of taller players we have on our team. But for the most part, it's a pretty even size range. I would say from a numbers aspect, Mavericks might have them in a couple of players here. And we've always mentioned what kind of a difference that makes when you hear about the bench depth of a team, right?
This team has, I just counted, 13 players plus their goaltender. The Junior Mavericks continue to be without Charlie Patera, who is nursing an injury, and hopefully we will see Charlie very soon, next month perhaps, in competition. But that would put the Junior Mavericks at, 17?
17, I believe.
Yeah.
So looking forward to having Charlie back. Charlie's joined practices, so he's on light duty on the injury reserve. And he is excited to be on the ice last week, practicing with his team. And we're excited. If you're watching, the Patera family and Charlie yourself, can't wait to be shouting your name on the broadcast. looking forward to having you back playing with your Mavericks in Thanksgiving in Colorado for the Silver Sticks tournament that will be over Thanksgiving holiday. Get well, Charlie. We'll see you next week at practice. I'm guessing one more focal point that Coach probably mentioned to our Mavericks before they took the ice is to come out guns blazing. It's always, we talk about it in almost every one of our broadcasts. It's much easier to maintain the lead than it is to dig yourself out of a hole. And builds momentum. It builds a lot of mental pep for the entire portion of the team when your boys can get the first goal of the game. And I think that's probably takes a lot of coaching out of it when the boys can create their own momentum and mental push by getting that first goal and putting the first puck in the net. So hopefully that's what we see here today, and I guarantee you that's what Coach Bennett, Taz, and Maresh have pushed into these boys' heads, is to get them wound up, and nothing like a little Rocky show tune to finish getting the last. I know for me, I'm up here.
Yeah, but you know,
if I had a jump rope right now, I would be doing it.
That's good for the old guys, but some of these guys may not have seen Rocky 3. You know,
that's the 70s.
That movie is like back in the early 80s.
I've made my kids watch it, so
yeah.
They know what they're getting into when I yell Adrian.
And you do that a lot? Is that the case? Adrian! Meanwhile, you have a neighbor down the street whose name is Adrian who's going, who keeps yelling my name? Oh my. And
I got my mittens on, so I'm ready.
I'm going old school, no mittens today.
This rink's a little chilly. Yeah. I had to go to the Target and pick myself up something to cover my hands since I neglected to bring a jacket. So here we go. Benny, Heater, Taz, Jack Davis. Come out for your offensive linemen for the opening face-off draw in the final game of the Mad City Classic. Will Fleming, George Nandor, Nandy, and Fleming with Rosie between the pipes. Guarding the net for the Omaha Jr Mavericks. 13 minutes goes fresh on the clock. And the doors close for the benches.
Nope, needed one more there for Rockford.
And it's hockey time in Mad City. Face-off win back to Rockford. Rockford gets stalled out on the red line, pinched by Peter and Jack. A little back and forth in the neutral zone. Jack will pick it up, backhand it into Rockford territory. Rockford picks it up, backhands behind their own net. Taz pinches it on the short wall. Rockford skating out of their zone, the centering pass. Can't get through Nandy with traffic. Stalled out on the blue line. Here comes Heater trying to push it back deep through the neutral zone. Taz with a poke check, cross ice to the front of us here. And then the lob pass deep into Maverick territory. Nandy couldn't quite get to it first. Got bodied off the puck, but Heater takes the loose one and he's making his way through the neutral zone. He gets poke checked right at the red line. Picks it up, crosses the blue line, dumps it in deep, a change on the fly, and out comes Stonebreaker and Schneider. Schneider in the corner battle. He's got a couple of attackers. He's still getting after it as the puck works its way out of the zone. Coming out to neutral zone territory. Sturba tries to intercept it. Rockford brings it in. Lots of feet and defense in the way. Short wall. Sturba bounces it out. Stonebreaker tries to poke check. Sturba picks up and intercepts the pass. Sturba makes the zone. Top of the circle. A deflected shot that goes on net and easily handled by the Rockford Tendy. Freezes the play with 11:38 left in the first period. 0-0 your score.
Matt, I want to mention something before. Great back checking by Paxton Schneider on that last play. Rockford had a chance to really bring it up unmolested, and he stayed with the guy and kept that breakout from being anything but crisp.
T-squared Allers court right out here for the face-off drop in Rockford territory. Keeney and the Bear keep it in at the blue line. Puck trickles in front of the crease. Lots of bodies. Ref taking his time to blow the whistle. Finally, as bodies collapse on the goalie trying to freeze that one, They'll stop the clock at 11:26 here in the first period. Another face-off draw in Rockford territory. Puck drop, clean win, the court right, back to Keeney, bounces over his stick, comes out to the neutral zone. Keeney tries to bounce it off the boards, doesn't quite do it hard enough. Rockford taps it in. The Bear pushes it up to court right, one touch up to T-square from the dot, fires right into the goalie's chest. Hollers giving the Tendy a snow shower again, and he'll make a friend with the Rockford team and a punch to the back. Nobody likes their goalie getting sprayed, and Will's pretty famous for poking the Bear.
Number 24 from Rockford worked him over the last game, and so we're keeping an eye on him because he's got a bone to pick with Will apparently.
Stonebreaker back to Ike, cross the boss, a shot, bobbled, trickling still in the crease, and then batted to the corner. Taz. Tremaine, heater out there on offense. Taz picks it up on the short wall, trying to poke it in deep. Rockford fires it back out to the blue line. Nice pinch by the boss. Keeps it in, fires it towards the net. Caught up in sticks and feet, gets batted back to the corner. The boss fires it back towards the crease again. Rings around behind. Ike is going to skate up, keep it in deep. Heater trying to get in the corner battle to create a turnover, trying to go back and forth behind a player. Here comes Tremaine to help. Puck comes off the wall. Rockford gets it, but pushes it to the short wall. Ike's going to fire it back in deep. This one rings back behind the net. Taz there to get it. Rockford fires it back up to Boss. Boss took a look, fires from the blue line, deflected, and that one goes in! No high stick, that looked below the shoulder. Boss fires from the blue line, and I'm not sure who that hit before it went in, but there was definitely a deflection that sent it straight down to the ground, and then it just eased its way between the goalie's legs and right into the net. So 1-0, 10:07 left in the first.
No shot on net's a bad shot, Matt, and clearly the Junior Mavericks are out there trying to pump as many shots on goal as they can in the early going.
Screening that goalie, crashing that net, just like we said we needed to do for our change to get a victory here. Big Maverick face-off win, they send it into the zone quickly. A fire right into his own player. Fleming hit Schneider. Rockford able to pass it out. Fleming hustles back. Nice job by Nandor to stir it up before a shot attempt. Fleming tries to go cross-ice to hit Schneider, couldn't. Schneider hustles back, gets it into the neutral zone. Rockford, cross-ice, loses his footing. Fleming easily picks it up, pop fly back into the neutral zone again. Rockford regroups, lots of forecheckers trying to turn it over, and they do. Courtright shovels it into Rockford territory. Rockford pitchforking it through the neutral zone, and quite a bit of back and forth here from blue line to blue line. Courtright trying to pick a pocket, couldn't quite do it. Rockford crosses the center ice and then dumps. They go for the change. Nandy behind his own net, stalls for a moment, fires long and misses T-squared. That one's going to be an icing. That stops the play. 9:03 left in the first period. 1-0, your Junior Mavericks in the lead.
Well, a good aggressive forecheck so far, Matt, and it's led to some good attack zone time. We haven't really turned the camera in this direction much in the early going of this period. We've got 9:03 to go, so almost 4 minutes played.
T-squared, Courtright, and Stonebreaker out there on offense.
Stoney.
The Bear and Keeney on defense. Rockford finally getting one towards the net. A player slow to get up. They had the puck underneath him. Keeney tried to fire it out. Defense for Rockford keeps it in. Behind the net, Rockford skating it around. Tries to one touch. Can they keep it in? 3-man attack and couldn't quite get it out of the zone. Rockford taps it in deep. Bear hustling to the corner to get it. He'll ring it back behind his own net. Forcing Keeney and T-square to play it off the short wall. Rockford attackers can't quite keep it in the zone. Little battle on the blue line here. Finally a pitchfork backhanded pop fly to get it back deep into Omaha territory. Bear behind his own net. One attacker. Bear tries to play it off the short wall. Turned over. Sent back behind the net again. Bear picks it up. This time he's going to skate it. He's got lots of traffic, but he's zigzagging through the neutral zone. He's on the offensive territory from the dot. Now behind the goal line. Pushed one towards the net. That one got blocked and kicked back to the short wall. Heater sends it back in deep. Rockford skating behind their own net. A bounce pass off the short wall. Keeney keeps that one in deep. Rockford trying to push it out. Allers intercepts. Allers. The corner. Rockford picks it up on the short wall. Rockford skating it out. Passing to the center ice. Picked up by Wyatt Ike. Ike circles in his own zone. Allers from the neutral zone. Gentle pass ahead to Heater. Heater from the top of the circle. Getting forced to the corner. Still in control, tries to lob one in front, loose out to the Boss. Boss fires, big kick save by the Rockford Tendy. Ike picks up the loose puck, charging to the center, right through the crease, and no shot. This one comes back out. Boss at the blue line, holding the blue line with 3 attackers. Boss is gonna skate it in below the goal line. Loose puck behind the net. Heater is on the attack. Rockford ringing around the boards with it. Heater keeping the puck deep into the offensive zone. Rockford trying to get out of their own territory. They finally cross the blue line, pass it cross ice, gain offensive Omaha territory, forced to the corner. Nice job by Omaha to create a turnover there and force to the wall. Still ringing around the boards. Mavericks moving their feet. Ike to get it out of the zone, forcing Rockford to reset in the neutral zone once again. Lots of feet and traffic there as they cross the blue line. Just struggling to keep it in any way, shape, or form they can. Ike picks it up, loose in his own zone, hits the brakes, trying to dodge an attacker. Has to do it a couple times. He does. Then passes it ahead. Oh, and the one touch from Schneider got intercepted. Goes behind the net. Boss gets a soft shoulder behind the net. He's able to easily recover and push it up to Schneider. Schneider, loose puck, off the wall, regains control. Gaining speed through his neutral zone, fires from the high slot. Easily glove saved by the Rockford Tendy. Stops the play with 5:51 left in the first period. 1-0, Mavs still in the lead.
Matt, what I like so far from the Junior Mavericks is that everything is contested against Rockford. Whenever they get the puck, there's a guy in their face, and we're really doing a good job of taking away that time and space.
Not sure they've even gotten a shot on goal yet. Big shot off the face-off win. T-square, Courtright. Jack Davis out there on offense. Courtright tries to feed Jack. Gets batted away. Courtright fires a shot from the short wall, and that one went well over the cage. Rim's ringing around. Courtright back to Nandor. Nandor tries to fire through traffic, and too many bodies in the way. Courtright pinches well. Nandy pinches again at the blue line. T-squared getting to a loose puck at the dot. Setting up at the short wall, fires it. Courtright, a big save, a backhand, and another save. Rockford picks up the loose puck in the circle. They're going to skate it out of their own zone.
Nice
a pickpocket by Courtright. Oh, God, loses control of it at the top of the slot. Puck goes in deep. Courtright and T-square go for the change. Jack Davis, the forechecker. Rockford gets it out. Taz picks it up at the blue line, waits for his boys to try and clear. Can't quite get out of the zone fast enough. That offsides will stop the clock at 4:59 now left in the first period.
Another great back check, this time by your lad, Jake. Boy, did he get back, and nice little stick left to steal that puck back.
Big face-off win by the Mavs. Quickly turned over by Rockford and batted towards Omaha territory. Outnumbered by Omaha defense. Taz pushes it out of the zone. Rockford takes over in the neutral zone. They cross ice, one touch into Maverick territory. Poke check stalls it out for a moment. And a nice kick save by Rosie that was just off the side of the net. Sends it to the corner. Peter trying to get it as it rings around the short wall. Rockford sends it in deep. Keeney handling around the boards to try and work his way up and out. That one comes ringing around the boards again behind the net. Heater pokes it onto the wall, and that one comes out in the neutral zone. Taz intercepts. 2-on-2,
he got back on
offsides. Peter trying to hop and skip and keep himself from going offsides, and he just had too much momentum. 4:15 left.
Oh, he was close.
He saw it happening, and Taz had some good momentum. A 2-on-2 attack about to occur. 4:15 left in the first. 1-0, Mavs in the lead. Allers, Paxson, Sturba out there on offense. Win back to Ike with the Boss on defense. Allers, there's the shot and score from Paxson Schneider. Allers crashing in, He was getting forced right of the net, passed it left, and Paxson had an open shooting lane to bury it on the ice between the legs of the Tendy and put the Mavericks up 2-0 with 4:07 left in the first period. Listen to the bench roar over there on the Omaha Mavericks side.
Will got a little tip from Coach Bennett, said be a little more selfish with the puck. It looked like he was going to do it there, and then at the last minute, like you said, he drew everybody to him, threw it across to Paxson, and what a terrific shot to make it a 2-0 game.
Beautiful teamwork. Mavericks with a charge off the face-off, quickly turned over by Rockford and then sent deep into Maverick territory. From behind the goal line, here comes Wyatt Ike. He's making it through traffic. Can he loses control just before he got to the net? He's still attacking from behind, gets it poke checked away. Rockford centering pass to get it out of their zone. They stall out slightly with it. Stall out at the top of the circle, batted towards the slot. Nice defense, pushes it back towards the goal line. Rung around the boards. Blue line for Rockford keeps it in. The hard shot sends it whistling out of the zone, and that one's going to get touched up before it's icing. Mavs will get a change on the fly. T-Square coming out with some momentum, but Rockford gains territory. Stood up by Fleming on the blue line, and then soft touch out of the zone by Nandor. Rockford getting attacked by two forecheckers for Mavericks. Not soft shoulder by Fleming. Create an opportunity. Rockford bounces one through the slot. That one goes back to the opposite corner. Nandor feeding it up the short wall. Courtright poking this one ahead. Now we got a 3-on-2 developing. As Courtright stick handles past one. Now a 3-on-1. Courtright hits the brakes. Top of the circle. Feeds Fleming. Fires right into the glove. Wow. 3-on-1. Then almost became a 4-on-1. Way to heads up, stop, and take advantage of a good shooting lane by passing cross ice.
That's a great play by Jake, too, because if Fleming doesn't score there, there's a good chance a rebound comes. The goalie did a good job. There was no rebound chance that time. But there were two guys down low ready for a rebound if one came out.
Net crashing, it's still happening, and that's what they needed to do. 2:39 left in the first, 2-0. Mavs in the lead. The Bear and Keeney on defense. Peter, Jack Davis, Taz on offense. The corner battle. Mavs try to feed the middle. Puck stalls out behind. Lots of players battling for it behind the goal line. Peter takes a big shoulder, relatively clean, sends him down. He's able to hop back up, but Rockford able to get some momentum coming out of their zone. Lots of attackers. Heater doing a good job of following up with the play. Look at this battle with Heater and that man. Heater now picking it up.
Five's the guy who put him down, then he put him down, and now he's
big hit by the Bear, sends a player flying to the ice. A 3-on-2, Jack, Peter, and Taz. Pop fly towards the slot. Rockford picks it up and sends it back to the wall. Now we got a loose puck behind, out to Taz in the middle, and he couldn't quite get his tape on it. Rockford bounces it off the boards to get it into the neutral zone. Gaining speed into Omaha territory. Centering pass, one touch, couldn't get through traffic. Picked back up by Rockford to stay in offensive territory. They try to bat it towards the slot. They can't get it there. Bear intercepts it. Bear, 1-on-2. He's outnumbered by defense, but gaining offensive territory. Forced to the wall. Now circling behind. Tries to sauce it through the slot. That one comes loose out of Rockford territory. Nice job by Stonebreaker to stall it out there in the neutral zone. Intercepted by Stonebreaker. He's all alone. Pops one up and then runs into the goalie. Goalie made the initial save. Stonebreaker lost his edge, slid into the net, and knocked it off its mooring. Nice interception and read by Stonebreaker here, right in the neutral zone, and created this one-man attack.
Yeah, he saw that one coming a mile away and stepped to the breach, and in he came. Unfortunately, he had it on the backhand, and he was trying to pull it to the forehand to get off a harder shot.
1:10 left in the first period, 2-0. Mavs in the lead. Face off in Rockford territory. One back to the boss. Ike taps it ahead. Sturba in the crease. Tries to feed it across the crease to another player, and nobody's there to pick it up. Mavs keep it in the zone. Trying to push it ahead towards the net, and Rockford able to bat it away. Nice job by the boss to keep it in deep at the blue line. Sturba, nice poke check to keep it into the corner. Still battling. He's got some small guys trying to push him around. Oni pushes it back to Sturb's corner. Stoney, or who is that? That's Schneider goes up for the change. Now Sturba goes for the change as Ike battles 3 players by himself,
doing a great job.
keeping it into the zone, and we get fresh players for the Mavs. Puck comes loose out to neutral zone territory. T-squared. Nice backhanded sauce over the boss. Oh, missed pass there up to Stoney. T-squared hustled, but that one's just crosses the goal line before he could get there, and that's an icing call, so that'll stop the clock with 15 seconds left in the first period. 2-0 Mavs in the lead, and they'll come down to their own end now and have a defensive face-off in Omaha territory. T-squared, court right, Allers out there on offense. That's Fleming and the Bear on defense. Rockford win, they push it ahead to the slot, picked up by Fleming. Fleming. Board pass into the neutral zone. Rockford returns the favor, sends it back in, but Fleming goes cross ice, and Courtright couldn't quite get it on his tape. Rockford sends it into the neutral zone, and the buzzer will sound to end the first period. Mavs doing what they need to do to maintain a big win here after the first period.
Good start by the Junior Mavericks. Boy, they really got in on the forecheck, made things happen, kept Rockford frustrated.
We'll see what I can do to get you some more fans here. Here's some fans that think they can escape the camera, but they know they can't because this camera crew is just too good. Let's hear it for the Mavs. Woo! Stonebreakers. We've been hollering Stoney's name. He had a great first period. How about it, guys? Go Mavs! There's a couple wild fans still letting the juice from last night take over. Look at these wild fans. We're struggling to keep them in their seats today.
All right.
Let's go, Mavs! Here we go! I'm going to take this opportunity for this intermission to say thank you, Cottonwood Salon, for your sponsorship. Look at this. Who's your favorite Mav?
I don't know, all of them.
I spent too much time horseplay. I got to get back to work. Dave's going to yell at me here.
That's all right. I'm catching the spirit of the thing.
All right. Fresh 13 goes on the clock. Mavericks. I don't know if you talked to the coaches, but it sure seems like we mentioned the things that were needed to fix any flaws in their previous game against this team, and they did it. Courtright, Allers, T-squared come back out for the face-off draw. A quick win by Allers, and T-squared sends it in deep. Awkward bounce off the boards, stalls it out behind the net. Rockford picks it up. T-squared pinches on the short wall, takes over, gets it in deeper. Mavericks still having to do some work to keep it in the zone. A hit by Fleming, he loses his footing. And a one-on-one, Rockford coming back the other way. Nice job by Nandor to keep it on the wall, but the puck trickles towards the net. Nandor recovers, sends it back to the corner. He's in a physical battle there, sends it up the boards to T-squared. T-squared, soft pass over to Courtright. Courtright gains offensive territory, stick handling, crosses the middle, gets a big open ice hit after he released that shot. He's able to pop back up, puck along the short wall. Allers in a battle for it. Rockford wins, sauces it out of the zone. Big hit by Nandor, sends a man to the ice. Omaha is able to pitchfork it back into the zone. Line change for most of the Mavericks here. Nandor pinches it at the neutral zone, gets it into the zone for a moment. Peter comes in to help and work its way down the short wall. Rockford gains control and gets it out to center ice. Taz taking the shoulder and pushing a man off of the puck. Fleming picks it up behind, brings it off the short wall, intercepted by Rockford. Rockford working their way behind, sends one just across the nose through the crease of Rosie. That one nobody was there to pick up. Tremaine over to Taz. Taz in a foot race. Gets shouldered into the boards. He pops back up, not before he sent it in deep. Peter with a loose puck in the slot, and that one couldn't find the net. Rockford off the glass into the neutral zone. Heater trying to keep it in, stalled it out momentarily, comes back to Keeney. Keeney cross ice to Bear. Bear from the top of his own loses control, Keeney comes over to help. Rose easily sticks one, but it's stalled in the slot, and Bear rescues it to get it to the wall. Rockford keeps it in at the blue line. Heater goes cross ice with it. We'll get some more new fresh legs on the ice as Rockford got a turnover. Heater tried to push it towards the middle, but too many attackers there. Rockford's able to get it out of their zone. Rockford goes cross ice, intercepted by Heater. He sends it in deep. No icing. The rest of the Mavs will get their line change. Out comes Jack Davis, Braden Sturba.
T-squared.
And T-squared. T-squared in the right place. Picks it up at the blue line. Fires it, but the skates kick it back out of the zone. Loose puck race. Bear's the only one there to pick it up. He circles behind his own net. Looking. Sauce pass up to Sturba. Couldn't quite stop it. Loose puck. Icing's waved off. In the corner, T-squared's the first one to it. Pushes it over to Sturbs. Rockford picks it up. Loose puck in the slot. Rockford goes cross ice. They get it out of their territory. Rockford gains offensive territory. Bear, nice shoulder in the open ice to stir up that attack. Sturba trying to bat it out of the zone. Can't quite get it past defense. Bear on the short wall. Sauce up to Sturba. That one bounces over everybody's stick and comes loosely back into Rockford territory. Rockford, cross ice. Jack Davis on the forecheck. Rockford passing it, cross ice. 2-on-1 with nice back checking by the boss. Good job by Wyatt Ike to stir it up and push it towards the boards. Paxton Schneider will take over, gaining speed through the neutral zone, outnumbered by defense. Courtright picks up the loose puck, fires into the chest. That one goes to the corner. Rockford ringing it around the short wall. Can't get it past Ike. They get a second chance, and they'll skate it out into the neutral zone. Stonebreaker covered for Ike, pushed it over to Boss. Boss up to Paxson. Paxson gains the zone. Top of the circle, shot! Just over the net. Courtright picks it up on the short wall. Tries to backhand it towards the slot. Nobody but Rockford there to pick it up. They circle behind their own net. Pass it cross ice to get it out of their zone. Intercepted pass by some feet. Send it back towards Rockford territory. They'll try and do it again. Making their way through the neutral zone. This time they'll dump and chase. The boss back there to pick it up. He's got two attackers that outstick him. They send it around the boards. Picked up in the corner by Rockford and kept in deep in Maverick territory. Boss will push it ahead to Heater. Heater sticks it over the defender's tape, and they'll chase into Rockford territory. Heater on the forecheck, gets the turnover. Feeds Taz in the middle, gets tied up. Now Stonebreaker fires, deflected just wide of the net. Ike will step up from the blue line. Gets it past one defender. Gets his pocket pick from behind, but he's still muscling his way towards the net. Sticks tied up, working his way to the slot. Finally pushed to the boards again. Taz hustles to it. Rockford rings it around behind. Boss will stop it at the blue line, but Rockford was able to get it out. Boss recovers, sends it back in deep. We'll have an offsides and a center ice face-off with 7:45 left in the second period. 2-0. Your Mavs still in the lead.
Matt, a little push by Rockford, but then you see the Junior Mavericks push right back and able to keep, again, that puck in the offensive zone, get some good attack zone time. Aller, Schneider, and Sturba now out there for the Junior Mavs.
The push ahead off the face-off, quickly sent back the other way by Rockford. Schneider picks it up at his own red line, 3-on-3 as he enters the zone. From the wall, towards the net, fires just wide. One bounces off the wall, comes all the way out of the zone. Rockford bullying their way through the neutral zone, but nice pickpocket by Allers. Allers loses control of it at the red line. Here comes Nandor to help. He loses his footing slightly, and then Rockford is still losing their footing as well. Here comes a messy zone entrance, but Schneider will fire it in deep and go for the change. Allers, nice shoulder. Can he get the pickpocket? In comes T-squared to help. Allers still moving his feet. Picks it up. Sauces it over to Courtright. Top of the slot. Fires, can't get it through feet. Puck in the corner. Fired back up to Keeney at the blue line. Keeney off the short wall. Sends it into the corner. Rockford trying to work their way out of the zone. Nice job by Allers. He gets leveled though. And up comes a penalty, likely on Rockford, for roughing Allers. Not sure. That looked like a relatively clean hit.
Yeah, but when you're tied up with one player and another player comes in, you're going to get called for that penalty.
Yeah.
If you're the second man in or the third man in this case.
Yeah. Yep, very true. It was a big hit and head down nonetheless. So roughing's a good call there.
Good shift by that line. They didn't get a goal, but real good hard work by that trio out there.
First penalty of the game.
Yep.
A power play for the Omaha Mavericks. Heater. That looks like Stonebrick or Tremaine. And Taz out there on the power play unit. Rockford
Great work by
pushes
Abram.
it towards the wall, just towards offensive territory. Bear stick handles past one. Dump and chase. Taz on his horse. Taz gets there first, pokes it into the corner deeper, finds it, sends it towards the net. Peter trying to chase, comes back around the corner out to blue line where Bear's going to keep it in deep. Taz can't catch up to it. Peter picks it up in the corner. Peter stick handling at the short wall, pushes it back to Keeney. Keeney's got a minute, pushes it cross ice to Bear. Bear fires! Rebound, Heater, score! There's that crashing the net. There's that power play that coach has been wanting to see all season. Mavericks go up 3-0. Nice shot from Bear at the blue line. Nice cleanup by Vinny Heater in position to take out the trash.
You know, Bear's got that heavy, hard shot. He kept it low this time. It hits off the pads of the goalie. Not much he can do to try and control that rebound. And because we have the man advantage, Vinny found that quiet area off to the side of the net and able to pound it home.
Boss and Ike on defense. Boss retrieves the face-off from Jack Davis. He pushes it ahead to Sturba. And once again, Rockford's on their heels in their own zone, battling to get it out. Ike keeps it in deep. Schneider's the other winger. He's going to try and pinch on the short wall, but Rockford gets it out of their zone. A 2-on-2 coming back towards the Mavericks territory. Nice back check by Jack Davis. He'll pick up the loose puck in his own corner. Has a minute to think about it. Goes cross ice nicely over to Ike. Ike got a skating lane. Gets it out of his zone. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. Forced to the wall. Stick on stick. Tries to get it towards the middle. Rockford turns it over and pushes it out of the zone. Boss picks it up at the red line. Boss had a minute. Tried to skate it. Courtright got it tapped off of his tape. In comes T-squared with some speed. T-squared stick handling. Courtright with a nice rebound attempt and backhand. Couldn't quite get it in. Big momentum for the Mavs here. Boss picks it up at the blue line. The tap off the side of the net. And another rebound attempt. That's a good shot by T-square. That one got saved by the Tendy. Rockford finally gets it out of the zone. But some quick feet by T-square. He is all over the ice.
Now
he sends this one whizzing into offensive territory.
Mavericks really feeling it.
Jack picks it up at the top of the circles. Fires one just behind the net. Rockford tries to ring it around the board, and Jack gets his stick caught in the boards. He's unable to play it. Rockford rings it back out. Boss fires it in deep. Rockford almost deflected it on their own net. Rockford rings it around the boards, and here comes Ike pinching. Jack Davis towards the crease. Big save and a loose puck out front, picked up by Rockford. Look at Courtright with a stick lift, creating the turnover collision at center ice.
Penalty
Both
coming up.
players pop up. Ike keeps it in deep. In comes Stonebreaker. He gets tripped up as he's trying to attack. Rockford's able to touch up, and that'll stop the play. That number 5, he's very aggressive for Rockford. He's the one who took out Courtright at center ice as he turned the puck over. He's going to go to the sin bin for 2 minutes at 3:53 left in the second period.
Number 5 is always picking on the small guys. He's the guy that freight trained well in the first game. He doesn't go after guys his own size. And I mean, I get it. They're 13 and 14. They're figuring this physical part out.
He and Heater have got a little relationship going too.
Yeah, they do.
Stonebreaker, Heater, Taz out there on offense. Nandy and Fleming on defense. Face off in Rockford territory. One back to Nandy. Nandy centers it out to Stoney. Stoney goes cross ice. Fleming keeps it in at the blue line. Fleming stick handling at the blue line. Over back to Nandy. Nandy, top of the circle, fires wide of the net. Taz on his horse to keep it in. Pushes it back to Fleming. Fleming from the blue line. Back to Taz on the short wall. Stoney over to Fleming. Fleming cross ice to Nandy. Nandy bobbled the pass slightly, had to hustle to it. It loses his footing, and Rockford Can't quite get it out of their zone. In comes Heater to help. Heater keeps it in. That one Rockford sent up into the netting to get their play stoppage, and the desperate rescue as Mavericks were keeping it in the offensive zone for this whole first 40 seconds of the power play.
Man, boy, did they work that puck around well. That's it looks like something that they've been practicing for 6 months.
They don't just want to shoot from the blue line anymore. They're firing it into the goalie every time they do, so you're seeing that they're changing their strategy a little bit here, and they're going to look for that pass and that one-touch shot instead of just firing passes from the blue line over and over again. Rockford off the boards, sends it out of the zone. Bear retrieves and circles in his own territory. Bear. Stick handling through the neutral zone, gaining speed, gains offensive territory from the dot, gets forced behind, circles behind, tries to feed it to the front. Can't quite make its way there. Sturba back to Bear on the blue line. Bear has a minute, fires that one high and wide, and then off the side of the net by Schneider. Schneider goes in and chases his own loose puck. Caught up in the netting behind the net here. Rockford trying to pass it out. Nice job by Allers to keep it in. Here comes Schneider again. Feeds it backhand to Keeney. Keeney, top of the circle, fires, rebound loose. Schneider trying to jab it in. And a little bit of friendship push there after the whistle. Stops the play at 2:24 left in the second period. 31 seconds left in the power play for your Omaha Mavericks. 3-0 the score. Mavs just maintaining pressure with every line and all feet that they put on the ice.
Yeah, the attack zone time has been terrific on this power play.
This is one of those where scoring gains momentum. You see how it affects kids when they score goals or when they get scored against, and the momentum is just tremendous for the Omaha Mavericks right now. Wyatt Tremaine, clean win back to the Boss. Boss cross ice to Ike. Ike fires. Big goalie save, goes behind. Courtright picks it up. Courtright from the corner, pushes it back to Ike. Ike, nice board pass. Courtright goes sauce up to the Boss. Boss fires. Big goal! The Boss marches forward gently and then hits the top shelf from the top of the circle on a nice sauce pass from the far corner from Courtright. Look at the puck movement.
Awesome. Just awesome. Boston Gas is playing like a man possessed today. He's been terrific. He figured in on the first goal. In fact, they may have had the first goal. And just another great shot there. And allowed to walk in, too. I think because of the success that the Junior Mavericks have had moving the puck around in the offensive zone during these power plays, that's backed Rockford off. They have not been as aggressive when that's exactly what they need to be. And the Junior Mavs have clearly put them in their place a little bit here.
Ike cross ice to the Boss. Boss sauces it out of his zone. Rockford from their own blue line trying to pitchfork it through the neutral zone. Whoa! A lost footing there by Heater, but Jack Davis comes in to help. Jack gains territory. Taz is on his left-hand side. Puck goes back to the corner though. Boss tries to pinch. Rockford bullying their way through the neutral zone. They gain territory, and Ike coming in to help, forcing number 5 for Rockford behind the goal line. In comes Jack Davis. Pitchforks it out from behind the goal line. Heater tries to sauce it over to Taz. Turned over by Rockford. Rockford will try and gain territory. Looked off sides, but they're not calling it. Here comes Vinny Heater. Gets it out of the zone, but quickly turned back over by Rockford, and they push it back into offensive territory. Boss has a minute. Pushes it up to Heater. Heater gaining speed through the neutral zone. Got a lot of attackers. He'll shake and bake. He's got nobody to pass to, but he only wants to pass. Stoney fires it back to Ike. Ike crossed to the Boss. Boss now in front to
great
Schneider. Schneider, these boys are just passing. Finally, Ike fires it in deep and forces a chase, but the Boss is the first one there. Rings one that bounces and lobs off the top of the net. This one behind the net. Stoney's there to it. Stoney trying to shake and bake and beat another small attacker. In comes Schneider to help. Schneider's got a opportunity, and that one misses everybody's tape and comes loose out in the neutral zone. Ike, soft tap over to the Boss. Boss, right back to Ike. He's now got a passing and skating lane, pushes it ahead to Stoney. Zigzagging across the ice, loses it for a minute. Stick handles past his man, now backhands on goal. And Sturba doing a good job of crease battling with another player to stay right in position for a rebound opportunity. 6 seconds left in the second period. 4-0, Mavs in the lead.
You know, Matt, when you're teaching young players the game, and I mean younger than this age level, you try to teach them that you can pass the puck faster than the other guys can skate. And because of how well the Mavericks are moving the puck in this game, they've really taken any kind of forecheck out of it for Rockford right now. They have just not been able to catch up to that puck because we moved it so well.
A neutral face-off win there and a battle in the corner for the last 6 seconds. Now, the biggest difference I'm seeing from the first time we played these guys to this time is just what you were saying. The amount of shots that we just saw firing from our blue line to just get pucks at the net was immense in that first game. This game, these boys are looking for the pass before they can shoot. I can only imagine coaches telling them they have to pass it at least once, maybe even twice now before they can shoot at the net. And that is paying off because our boys weren't able to pass this good last year, and they're getting it.
Yeah, they've really used the whole ice. They've spread it out. Everybody's getting involved in the attack. It's not the thrust of one guy taking it and everybody else watching. He's bringing it in and then looking to dish, whoever that puck carrier happens to be. And we've seen some outstanding passes. That Boston second goal, what a terrific sauce pass by Jake from the far corner to the near point. Got it through traffic and was able to set up Boston, who had plenty of room to walk in and get that shot off. The passing has been terrific, and I've got to think the coaches are real pleased with the effort here through the first 26 minutes of this game.
I love the war cry from Jack Davis. Mavericks on 3. It's the shriek. It's frightening. Rosie makes his way back to the crease to defend the pipes for the OMA Jr Mavericks. T-squared, Allers, Courtright come out to take the third and final period of Mad City tournament face-off.
Well, now,
Fleming.
Matt, just keep the foot on the gas. That's all the Junior Mavericks have to do. Keep doing what you've been doing.
Nandy and Fleming. Fleming gets the face-off win from Allers clean. He'll dump it in deep. Nandy pinches at the blue line. He's got lots of attackers, but he's able to send it in behind the goal. T-squared on the attack. Creates a turnover, but Courtright reaching and not moving his feet. Rockford tries to go cross ice, and they kind of lose control of it. T-squared there. Gets bodied off the puck. Puck comes off the wall out to a man in the middle. Try to do a blind pass. They stall out for a moment at the red line. Nandy easy to pick it up. Courtright pushes it ahead. Rockford turns it over at their own blue line. They're bringing it back the other way. They cross into offensive territory. Allers with a nice poke check from behind. The puck goes loose behind the goal line. Fleming battling 2 men. Nice stick lift. Sends a stick flying in the air. Fleming works it around the boards. A bouncing puck towards the slot doesn't make it to the goal. Fleming back. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. Loose over to Allers. Omaha stumbles up in their own players a little bit at the blue line. Fleming will lob it in deep and force a chase. Allers on the forecheck. A long pass out to Rockford. Turned over by Heater. Some back and forth in the neutral zone here. Intercepted at the center ice. Tremaine works his way. Fires at the net from the dot, and goalie easily freezes that one. Stops at 11:34. At the intermission, I forgot to mention, there's a great sponsorship for these Mavericks that's been creating a lot of good luck. And it is Cottonwood Salon and Suites. We appreciate all of the support that family members and friends give to the OMA Jr Mavericks, especially Cottonwood Salon. Thank you very much. Face-off draw in Rockford territory. Tremaine tries to pinch it on the wall. Rockford gets it out of the zone. Skating through the neutral zone. Beautiful back check by Heater. Creates a turnover. Bear sauces it up to Heater. He can't quite handle it through skaters. Rockford starting back in their own territory again. Keeney pinches one off the wall. Mavericks send it back into Rockford territory, forcing them to reset. Rockford pushes it off the wall. Loose puck picked up by the Bear. Jumbled up by an attacker. Has control. Fires it up the wall again. This one's likely going to be an... Oh! Icing's waved off. In comes Taz on the forecheck. Rockford skating behind their own net. Hits the brakes. Now Heater Heater putting the body. Taz with the turnover. Fires one on net. That one goes off the side. Taz tries to push the puck out in front again. This one goes to the corner. Heater pushes it back to the Bear. Bear on the blue line. Fires. And that one made a big save by the Rockford Tendy. Frees the puck at 10:36 left.
You know,
in
Matt,
the game.
Another big part of, I think, what we're seeing a little bit too here is communication. You heard Bear saying, Vinny, he was calling for that puck back there, trying to get that play low to high so that he could get that open shot. Again, rebound chance didn't get there. The goalie did a good job of hanging onto that puck, but Taz was there, Tremaine was there.
Jack Davis using his feet to win it over to Schneider.
That was nice.
Boss up to Schneider. Schneider on the short wall, stick handling around a defenseman, slowly working his way behind the goal line. Jack Davis comes in to help. Schneider almost came out with it, but then Rockford's able to get control and skate it out of their zone. They run into their own man and stall out, but now gain offensive zone to fire it towards the net and well wide. Rockford trying to feed the middle. Jack ties it up. Blue line keeps it in. Rosie with a big screen save sends the puck over to the short wall. Here comes Schneider Ike working his way through the neutral zone. Lots of defense in his way. He loses control of it. Puck goes back to the short wall again. Jack Davis has got a lane. Fires just up over the net. Boss saves it from coming out. Fires it towards the goal. Rockford picks it up. Tries to bounce it off the wall to get it out. And Boss keeps it in. That one got turned over by Rockford and fired deep into Maverick territory. Ike circles behind his own net, stalls for a moment. Two attackers, sauces it up to the short wall for Jack to take over. Jack skates it out of his zone. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. Lots of defensive attackers on him. Stalls out on the short wall. In comes T-squared to help, but that one goes back into neutral zone. T-squared, stick handling around one, loses control, forces his defense to take over. And that's Will Fleming. Will, sauce pass off the glass. Rockford picks it up in neutral zone. Cross ice, court right on the forecheck. Can't quite get there. Nice job by Nandy to pinch. Frees up the puck. Stoney over to
Nice pass.
Fleming. Fleming up to T-squared. T-squared zigzags through the slot. One-handed on his stick, couldn't get the shot off. Puck comes loose through the crease.
Wow.
Still loose in the crease. Lots of feet and sticks swatting at it, but can't quite get there. Loose puck back out to Fleming. Fleming fires.
Oh,
goal! I thought that bounced off the back of the net.
No, he got the post.
That's on the post. Puck still in the offensive zone. Stoney trying to battle on the short wall. Fleming comes in and shoulders his man. Took the wind out of him here. He's getting up slowly. Puck goes cross ice. Nandy able to rescue it at the blue line. Courtright takes over. Courtright got lots of attackers. He zigzags to the middle. Pushes it over to T-squared. Oh, can't quite stick handle through feet. Pushes it back to Courtright. He loses control to the short wall, and Rockford will pop fly that sucker over to center ice. Taz gets bodied off the puck. We'll have a neutral zone battle here along the wall. Fleming trying to keep it moving forward. He ends up winning, and Rockford takes over in their own end. Change on the fly. Out comes Allers and Heater. Puck under the tush of a Rockford player sitting on the ice. Allers gets it free. Pitchforks it backhand deep behind the goal line of Rockford territory. Heater on the chase. Taz creates a turnover. Heater from behind sauces it out. Bear fires from the blue line and rakes it right into the back of the net. Taz and Heater doing the dirty work behind the net to create a turnover on a forecheck. Fed it out to the blue line, and instead of doing that passing game they've been doing, he just ends up taking the shot from the blue line, and that one found its way through traffic. The Bear puts the Mavs up 5-0 with 7:29 left in the game.
Well, what do we say, Nat? Foot on the gas, and the guys have had that here in the third period and really kept up the pressure.
Schneider, Tremaine, Sturba out there. Is that Tremaine? Yes,
Yep.
It is. Sturba will get it in deep. Schneider will go into forecheck. Can't quite keep it on his tape. Keeney will pinch on the short wall. Rockford bullies their way out of the zone. Schneider's able to pick it up. Easily poke it back to the Bear. Mavericks reset. Bear, sauce pass across to Tremaine. Tremaine in the neutral zone. Pushes it ahead to Schneider. Schneider outnumbered in the top of the slot. Get batted off of his tape, but he's going to try and keep the puck moving. It rings around the boards out to Bear. Bear fires. into the glove of the goalie. That one looked like it was going to go over the net, but goalie was able to reach up and snag that one out of the air. Stopping the clock, not stopping the clock. 5-goal deficit. So we'll have a running clock for the rest of this game because the score is 5-0. So I'm going to call it 6:25 left in the game. Jack Davis, T-squared and Courtright out there on the offensive face-off drop that's coming in Rockford territory. Ike and the Boss on defense. Rockford gets their final player out there. Puck drops, come back to the Boss. Boss tries to send it cross ice, and Rockford pushes it out of the zone. Ike forced into shake and bake here to avoid an attacker in his own territory. Nice backhanded push ahead to Jack Davis. Jack gaining speed through the neutral zone. Off the wall, gets to the middle, loses his footing. T-squared trying to get stick handling through 3 players. And we'll have a penalty coming up. Tripping as Jack Davis was trying to cut back to center ice there, and he got tripped up along the way. So another power play opportunity for the Omaha Mavs. 2-minute tripping call on Rockford will put, let's see, that's Stoney, Heater, Taz out there on this power play unit with Ike and the Boss remaining on defense. 5:50 left in the game. Rockford with a face-off win in their own territory. Taz will pick up the loose puck on the short wall, push it back to the Boss. Boss from the blue line. Cross ice to Ike, top of the slot, fires. Ooh, and an armpit save for the Rockford Tendy. Freezes the play. Well, we'll have a running clock though, so I'm going to call it 5:25 as it continues to tick. Stoney, Peter, Taz out there with Ike and the Boss. Rockford. Territory face-off. Omaha wins it. Back and forth from defense. Boss to Ike. Ike up to Taz. Taz back to Ike. That's Stoney. So Taz couldn't quite handle the pass, and Rockford sends it loosely down into Maverick territory. That's going to be an icing. The clock will continue to tick down into the 4-minute mark here.
You know what? Wyatt Ike had that shot. He was going for the top shelf. And after that next face-off on the reset, Bennett said to him, back door, and he tried that the next time with Taz stationed right there.
Rockford dumps that puck out of the zone, forces Fleming to chase it. Fleming and Nandy out there on defense. Schneider, Sturba, Allers on offense. Puck was tipped at the red line just prior to the red line. That one goes all the way down, and that'll be an Omaha icing. 30 seconds continues to tick off of this power play. Mavericks doing a good job of keeping pressure, but not a lot of shots on goal for this power play unit. Allers now facing off in his own territory here. Puck drops. A push ahead. Sturba pokes it out of the zone. We'll have to battle on the neutral zone wall, but Rockford pushes it back in deep. Fleming forced to chase as the last 2 seconds tick off the power play. Fleming up the short wall to Schneider. Schneider, now 5-on-5 hockey. Schneider gets tied up at the blue line. Fleming comes back up to help. Uses his shoulder to bully it ahead. Pushes it up through the neutral zone to Allers. Allers will touch up. No icing. Allers still chasing around the horn. Allers. Oh, couldn't go cross ice. Sturba deflects. That one goes into the crease, and the goalie freezes it. 3:20, I'll call it, left in the game. 5-0, the Mavericks in the lead. And now 5-on-5 hockey. Courtright hurried to his spot to take a face-off drop here in Rockford territory. Wyatt Tremaine and T-squared out there on offense with him. Keeney and the Bear on defense. Puck drop. Tremaine with kind of a neutral win comes back to Rockford. Rockford rings it up the wall. Bear keeps it in for a moment. Tremaine goes center. Rockford's there to pick it up. Rockford circles in their own zone. Off the wall through the neutral zone back onto Bear's tape. Bear cross ice to Keeney. Keeney one touch up to T-squared. T-square forced to chase, and that one out of reach, and that's an icing. Clock will continue to run with 2:30 left in the game. And an icing will bring the face-off back down to Maverick territory. Rockford doing a pretty good job of just killing time to stop their bleed of this controlling win that the Mavericks, or controlling lead that the Mavericks have. Jack Davis, Taz, and Heater out there now. Rockford holds it at the blue line. From the short wall, tries to feed it in deep. Keeney picks it up. Circling behind his own net. 2 defenders. Turned over behind. Rockford tied up on behind the net. Push it under the corner. Back out to the blue line. Rockford at the blue line. Pushes it up the short wall. Jack Davis tries to center it out to Heater. Heater and Taz working their way through the neutral zone. Tries to get it up to Heater. Taz couldn't quite get there. Rockford turns it over in their own slot. Pushes it ahead. Cross ice pass for Rockford. Well out of reach of anyone. Ike will pick it up. Fresh legs on the ice for defense. Over to Taz. Taz, one touch, avoids a check. Rockford keeps it in. Nice job by Ike to force his man to the wall. Comes ringing around behind the Omaha net. Up to the point man. Blue line will keep it in momentarily, but then pushed ahead. Here comes Heater, a one-on-one. Heater, stick handling, top of the slot. Shot goes wide. Heater tries to push it towards the middle, but puck got deflected behind the net. 1 minute left in the game. Comes around to the short wall. Picked up. That's Taz. Pushed it towards the middle. T-Squared got a second chance at it. Couldn't quite get it in. That's Schneider. Sorry, not T-Squared. Schneider holding his hands over his head. Had a loose puck and tried to drag that sucker through the legs and couldn't quite get it in. 40 seconds now ticking off the clock. Face-off in Rockford territory. Stoney to the corner off the face-off draw. Rockford trying to get it out of the zone. Boss keeps it in. Boss goes far side to Ike. Ike from the wall, fires towards the net. Couldn't quite get the deflection from Sturba. Rockford will bat it towards the wall. They skate it up in through neutral zone territory. Lots of Maverick defensemen. Poke check at the blue line. Creates an offsides. A play stoppage, but not a clock stoppage. We're down to 10 seconds left. I'm surprised if they get this drop in. We're counting down from 7, 6, 5, 4,
Rockford's
3,
not in any hurry
2,
to make that
1,
shift change done.
And we're done.
Great win.
Your Omaha Mavericks win their final game in the Mad City Classic in Madison, Wisconsin. A big 5-0 win for the Mavericks.
Matt,
Papa Nandor called this one right before the game. He said they had the recipe to win this game. They knew what they had to do, and here's a young fan ready to say, "Go Mavs." Go Mavs. Whoa!
Always nice to win the last game of a tournament, whether you're playing for a championship or a fifth place game like this one was today. And Matt, this is a terrific team win. You look down that roster, and every one of those guys contributed to this with just an outstanding effort. Whatever magic dust the coaches sprinkled on the players today in that locker room before this game, boy, it worked in spades. What a terrific effort by the guys to head back home with a nice win, a shutout win for Rosie, and the team effort in front of him helping secure that.
You know, I can only imagine the coaching was look for the pass instead of look for the shot. That was the biggest difference I saw in this game. All the boys looking to pass the puck instead of looking to shoot the puck every time they had it. And they maintained control. They executed passing better than we've seen in a lot of previous games. And boy, did that pay dividends in this one.
Yeah, the puck movement was terrific in this one. The support, the net front pressure that they were able to exert, really crashing the net, finding rebounds. I believe at least one power play goal, maybe a second. I can't remember now. But
There's at least one.
Yeah,
right.
Really took advantage of the man advantage. And if they didn't score, at least they had consistent attack zone time. And Rosie pretty well insulated today. Didn't have to make a lot of saves. That doesn't negate his effort. He had a couple of testers in there. Did an awesome job. And just a terrific way to finish off this weekend here in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
This is our opportunity to throw our final plug out there for Cottonwood Salon. Once again, thank you so much for your support. Hey, everybody, if you need your hair cut or if you need your hair done up just right for a hockey game, I'd head over to Cottonwood Salon. I hear all the hockey fans love it over there. So thank you so much for your support. We'll make our way on this 6-hour drive back to Omaha. We got practice tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
sure do.
there's no time to kill. We're going to get back on the ice and we're going to get prepared for a Silver Sticks tournament in Denver, a Westminster, Colorado suburb of Denver, where we compete hot and heavy for an opportunity to win a gold medal up there in the Silver Sticks competition.
And that is the week of Thanksgiving, so we've got some time off to get some practice time in, really work hard and get ourselves ready for what will be a very tough tournament in Colorado.
Our first game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dave, comes on Thanksgiving Day.
Correct.
So we'll likely play a minimum of 4 games there, if not more, because we start play on Thursday. If I'm not mistaken, we play through Sunday.
I believe that's the case, yes.
So there'll be a long drive for our next tournament and a lot of games and a lot of fun Maverick action to watch while you sit back and eat your turkey and enjoy your holiday.
We'll be having turkey sandwiches.
Your boys will be working hard and making you proud in Westminster, Colorado. Thanks again for all your support and watching.